Pen pals. Carry On just didn't hit it for me. Love Jason Bateman though. Let's talk about it. Shannan Johnson, CEO of The Professional Pen, where we develop screenwriters from idea to pitch. Need help on your screenplay? Go to www.theprofessionalpen.com. Okay, so Carry On is an action holiday film. And I was only really looking forward to it, if you can say that, because Jason Bateman, right? They knew how to cast a name big enough to bring people in, because our main characters are not huge stars, right? Howsoever, they had a lot of people in this movie. Danielle Deadweiler, Sinqua Wall, Curtis Cook, he can get it, Dean Norris. I mean, they had a cast. Don't get me wrong. My biggest thing is tonally, I was a little lost. I couldn't tell if it wanted to be more heartfelt or awkward or grounded. Like, some of the music didn't mix tonally with the conversations. That action sequence with the cars flipping felt totally out of tone for me. It felt like, let's have our police detective, who's supposed to be really smart because she's the only one who understands that there's something going down at this airport. Not her captain. Her captain doesn't care. He's going home because it's the holidays. She, on the other hand, is on it, okay? Now, she's in the car with the person she realizes is a bad guy, someone we've never seen before then, someone who was not set up for us. That's fine. And she decides to pull her gun out on him while he's driving. Now, where do they do that at? Where? She pulls the gun out while he's driving. Nonsensical. But let's suspend our disbelief. Why? Because we want to give you a cool car crash scene. That's why. We want cars to tumble. We want awkward music to play during this time. We want to do something cool. Doesn't make sense, but we'll go for the cool. We stay along those lines. This film asks us to suspend a lot of disbelief, if for no other reason that this detective would be able to understand that something is going down at this airport simply because someone called 911 from the airport and then hung up. People, there could have been a whole lot of, our phones have like emergency buttons on them at this point. There could be a whole lot of reasons somebody called 911, didn't say anything, and then hung up. But that's the thing that makes you say, it's going down to that airport and this person knows about it. Really? Couldn't it just been a butt dial? Not gonna look too much further into it. Then she does kind of look into something which I don't remember, but it leads her to realizing that there's this gas bomb nuclear thing that's only made in Russia, and somehow that is connected to this random 911 call. Now, she's right, but how did she get here? Yes, they found some dead Russians earlier. She was able to look at a piece of paper and make out a word, and she looked into finding that word online. But how do you know that that thing that you found has anything to do with what's happening at the airport? Not to mention, she has so much pull that she can shut the airplane down. She can shut the whole airport down. Like, she goes up to the airport and she is the highest in command. She just walk through and tell y'all to do stuff and y'all just do it. The local PD? Suspend your disbelief. It's a movie. Had a couple of questions. Again, they wanted us to suspend our disbelief, but I think it would have been good to track these things. So she calls and she says, shut the place down. We're going to do some extra checks. And the people at the airport are like, what? That's going to slow everything down. We have this many people who are trying to fly this place and that place. And they're like, do it. Shut it down. So they shut it down. But did anybody get slowed down? Seemed like everybody made their flight. I mean, were there any issues or complications because you slowed everyone down and did all of these random checks? No, everything just kind of went back on as scheduled. Got it. Cool. Let's talk about the bad guy. Not Jason Bateman. The one that was in the van. Tonally, he wasn't doing it for me either. Because when we first meet him, he seems really grounded. He's the guy in the van, pushing buttons, looking up stuff, researching. Suspend your disbelief because Jason Bateman tells the guy in the van, go ahead, pull a gun out and get ready to shoot the fiance or the girlfriend or whoever she is. And he just so happens to be standing in the exact spot necessary to just flip up a window, stick out the gun, because even though our protagonist and his girlfriend are walking, they're going to happen to stop in the right place for him to aim his gun. He didn't have to do any work whatsoever. All he had to do was open a flap. Open a flap and shoot. You're not going to have to search for the girl. We're not going to get to see the red dot going around on other people until she stops moving. Like, no, she just happened to stop in the right place. But let's keep on with it. He puts a gun together, puts it out. He doesn't shoot her, because if so, then the movie's over, right? So he doesn't shoot her for whatever reason. But then later, he's running after her. Now, she's in an entire airport, okay? And at this point, she knows something is going down. Why does she run outside? Why did you go outside? Girl, you're in an airport, okay? Where people are real big on security. Real big. Why did you run outside? But okay, run outside. Go in the parking garage because it's safer there than inside the airport. Okay. But she gets into the parking garage, and suddenly our cool tech dude from the van is manic. He's like, you know what I mean? Like, took it way far. And I'm looking at the director like, you didn't want to reel him back in. Also, I've seen this actor before. He's actually a good actor, which means I think the director told him to do that. But I was like, yo, how did we get here? Why is he so manic all of a sudden? What did this girl do to him? Nothing. Speaking of the girl, something else that didn't really work for me tonally, and again, this could be the acting choice or the directing choice for the actor, but the girlfriend felt so formal to me from the beginning that I was like, oh, she's a Russian spy. She undercover. And it's not that they didn't have any chemistry whatsoever. It just felt like we're in an action film and I am playing my role and you are playing your role. You know what I mean? And it was just it could just be the tone of her voice. It's not that she's a bad actor at all. She was great. It could be the tone of her voice. It could be the way she delivered. There was something, but I was just like, she just feels so formal that I think she's an undercover spy. Turned out she wasn't. But I was like, nah, this is not his girlfriend. This isn't his girlfriend. And they also, they tell us a lot that the opening sequence to get us to invest in them was pretty long. I don't think they really needed that much time. If you guys have seen Supercell, we invest in our protagonist and his girlfriend within 5 minutes. So the fact that we needed a whole 15 minutes before our inciting incident was a lot. And a lot of it felt like telling and not showing. There was no evidence that Ethan was considering quitting that day. It didn't seem like he was considering quitting. Now, it did seem like he didn't care much about the job. We learned from his girlfriend that, he had applied for the police academy and didn't get in. Okay, cool. But there's nothing that says to us that you were thinking about quitting today until you said it out loud. And I feel like we could have spent some time in that space versus all that time we spent with him and his girlfriend together. Once we saw them at the house and we revealed that she was pregnant and then they leave the house, we don't need all that time on the bus and all that time. It's like, get to the job. Okay? We're here for Jason Bateman. Get him on the screen. Get him on the screen. So I didn't really enjoy it, but my favorite part of the movie was the kill. That's my favorite part of the movie. That was pretty smart. That was pretty smart. I'm not going to spoil it for you. If you decide to watch the movie and make it to that part, then you will see what I'm talking about. But I enjoyed that part. And of course, I enjoyed Jason Bateman. Did you watch it? How did you feel? Drop down in the comments. Happy writing. And that's it. Want more content? Like, subscribe, and for notifications. Get notes on your script that get you unstuck at www.theprofessionalpen.com. I'm out.